To make our simple wine, we just need 4 simple items. I have 2 pounds of seedless grapes, half a cup of white granulated sugar, an empty water pitcher with a lid, and a potato masher. Don't have a potato masher? Food processor or blender will do just nicely. Now, the first thing I always do is to give the grapes a rinse. And the reason for that is that you don't know what's done what on these grapes while they were growing on the vine. So let's see if we can wash off at least some of that off. We can now go ahead and pluck our grapes off the stems, making sure that any bad ones that we find, we remove those so that they don't end up in our wine. Let's be honest. If you wouldn't want to eat it, I'm quite sure you don't want it in your wine. All right, moving on to the next step. Now let's go ahead and start crushing up these grapes. Okay, after several minutes, it has extracted a fair amount of juice, and the crushing has gotten a lot easier. I mean, you don't have to crush every single grape, but it's nice if you can. Anyway, that's enough for that. Okay, we can now go ahead and add in half a cup of sugar, and hopefully you can get as much of it in the container as not. And let's go ahead and mix that in. Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and put our lid on. Now, once a day for the next 2 days at least, we're going to come back and give our wine to be a good, kind of a vigorous stir. Doesn't take much, but it helps keep things alive and well in there. After 3 or 4 days, 3 days in this case, you begin seeing small bubbles of CO2 have begun to form. That's basically the yeast that was on the grapes have begun to ferment. And in the process of fermentation, it's eating up some of the sugar and producing some of the alcohol while releasing some of the CO2 or carbon dioxide. Okay, it's now been 4 days, and what I want to do now is go ahead and strain off our wine juice because our grape skins and pulps have done all they need to do. And I'm going to use a strainer and a freshly cleaned container and go ahead and let that drain in. Hopefully quicker than that. All right, that's a little bit better. And once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and mash down on the remaining pulp to squeeze out as much juice as possible. Clean out my container thoroughly and reuse it for the next step. All right, I'll work on that a little bit more, but basically, this is what we've got. Close to 2 cups, and when I'm finished done with the rest of that pulp, I should get about 2 cups of wine juice. Now, when pouring your juice, technically wine, back into the next container, you might want to be a little bit careful and pour it in nice and slow. Don't just dump it in there. Don't create like a big waterfall. Thing is, we want to try and keep as much air from being mixed in as possible, because we don't want to begin oxidizing our wine to be before it's time. I'm going to put our lid back on, and we're going to let that set for several more days. Now, usually by the next day, you should begin seeing a layer of foam across the top. That's usually CO2 bubbles that have come up, and that's okay. If it looks or starts to look kind of fuzzy or kind of weird looking color, then you might want to think twice about keeping up the process of making this wine. Another thing, you may begin seeing a layer starting to develop down at the bottom. That's usually a combination of two things. One, any remaining grape pulp solids that didn't get strained out, and also, more importantly, spent yeast. The wild yeast that was on the grapes themselves, that's beginning to settle out and form its bottom layer. It's now been 7 days since we started making this simple wine. It's time to go ahead and it's now time to skim off the foam and pour off the wine sitting above the lees or dead yeast layer as much as possible. And go ahead and give it a sip and see what it tastes like. Well, it's been 7 days and our simple wine is done. I did some calculations and it did come in at 6% ABV, so it's not going to pack a whole heck of a lot of punch. I mean, it's only been 7 days. What can you really expect? All right, so I'm glad it held its color. Um, Granted, even though I kind of ran it through um, a sieve one more time to remove as much uh, sediment that might have been remaining. There's still some sediment down there. I mean, can't be helped. It never really settled down after only 7 days. Um, you always got to do the sniff test because you never can tell what you've just made. But as long as you have punched down that fruit cap that appeared on the top of your fermenter during those first couple of days while it was sitting in fruit, so that you don't run the risk of creating vinegar, because it can happen. Although happily, not for me, except for that one time that I did a video on making vinegar. Um, this is basically the test. It's 7-day wine. Well, enough talking about it. Let's see what we got here. Hmm. It's surprisingly sweet. It's definitely grapey. Very sweet. Definitely a dessert wine. I guess depending on the grapes you use, because these were actually sweet grapes, would have depended on whether or not you would have used a quarter of a cup or even no sugar at all. Uh, if I were to do this again with the same grapes, I probably would have knocked it down, definitely down to a quarter of a sugar. And if those grapes are still available, maybe no sugar at all. And still would have had a pretty sweet wine. But again, so I'm in 7 days. Fermentation is not complete. Okay, it's it's it will take a little bit more time than that. After 2 months, this probably would have been a pretty potent wine. Not It's still sweet, but definitely not as sweet. But because more time for fermentation has elapsed, more alcohol would have been produced, and you would have had a better tasting wine. But 6% ABV, alcohol by volume, that's not bad. Because it is so sweet, I probably would have this on the rocks. Dropping an ice cube or two in there and basically just sit back and enjoy it. But again, there we go. Simple wine. That's how it's done.